Well, it was something when I was young that I didn't necessarily appreciate. Because to be around so many different types of people than myself was a little difficult at times. As a child, I think you think like your family is like the world. So when you leave your house and you see people that look look differently, speak differently everywhere you go, it can be a little confusing. But it was best for me because it exposed me to different things, and it prepared me for my future to travel different places in the world. And overall, it was good to everything from different foods, learning how to communicate with different people and to get along with different people. It in the end, it was very good.
I had to say a mix because I'm born in Congo, but I left Congo when I was 5 years old. So basically I grew up in Belgium. I learned how to play basketball in Belgium. All my friends are European, say Belgium. And now I'm playing in almost a lot of countries in Europe. So I think I have a mix because my both parents also are from Congo. So I have to say it's a mix. I think it's positive because I have both culture. I think what you have from the African culture is like everybody's like welcome. Everybody's happy. We allow anybody to come in our home to eat with us. That's the mentality of African. We love to share with others, even though they are different. And I learned from the European culture is to be more, maybe more, how to say this, maybe more tough in work, maybe more precise. And that's what I like about the organization, because the African organization is terrible. So I think to have both things and mix it together, I think it's a pretty good thing.
Bueno, sobre todo pues aprecias o valoras las diferentes maneras que tiene cada uno de ver o de vivir la vida, ¿no? Me he encontrado a lo largo de estos años con gente, con musulmanes, me he encontrado con otras culturas, con la cultura americana, con la cultura balcánica, incluso con africana, ¿no? Y lo que sí aprecias es un poco la manera de vivir que tiene cada persona, especialmente a mí lo que más chocante me ha parecido pues, es la musulmana, ¿no? Que a lo mejor es como la más contraria a la nuestra, ¿no? El hecho de no poder comer durante el día en la época del Ramadán y bueno, pues valoras un poquito lo que tienes y la cultura que tú estás acostumbrado, ¿no? Te abre a abrirte un poquito más la mente, ¿no? De cara a bueno, pues creo que y sobre todo valoras el respeto que tienes hacia otras culturas, ¿no? Y bueno, pues este mismo año tenemos jugadores, tengo compañeros de muchas nacionalidades y yo creo que al final lo importante es el respeto que tengas a la persona y respetar un poco su manera de ver un poco la vida, ¿no?
I have a lot of friends, and especially now because of like Facebook and social media, I'm able to keep in touch with people, that I meet from different places and keep those friendships. When I first started playing, there was no Skype, there was no Facebook, it was only calling cards and you go to the internet cafe or something. So the communication, was a lot harder. But now with everything that's available, all the technology, I'm able to keep in touch and with them to tell my family and friends about these people, and hopefully, when my career is over, I'll be able to go visit different places and see them and take my family and share that experience and share that culture.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there is you have to have the respect for the country where you live in. Like I said, you cannot come from one country and then you act like you live in your own country, because there's certain way that in every country people live, they have habits, the holidays they have. So you must blend in as fast as possible, and I mean it's going to be easier also for you if you try to to act like local people, and to understand some more things about other people. For example, like Three Kings that we celebrate here in Spain. Of course, in Serbia we have something similar. Not similar, but we have some big holidays. So there's something when some big holiday like this happen, you try to understand some things, what's going on about about this special holiday.
Okay.
Por ejemplo, yo tengo mi opinión de la gente que viene desde una cultura a otra que necesita adaptarse a esta cultura porque ha venido a un país que no es suyo. Y bueno, yo intento hacer siempre así porque no estoy a mi casa. Para que me siento cómodo necesito aprender primero de todo idioma, cultura, de vida, y luego desde ahí pienso que es todo más fácil. Pero sí, siempre como refugees, como se dice en español, no sé, necesitan en inicio ayuda para adaptarse, pero luego necesitan ellos dar un esfuerzo para sentirse como, por ejemplo, o croatas o españoles al país donde vienen.
I think at first, the first few months I got here, I went to Madrid a lot, and I kind of just really was observant about how people acted here, about how social interactions went. I tried to pick up on the language, about how to greet people. That was different. But at first, I really was just observant and tried to learn as much as I could to kind of blend in and not seem so out of place as an American in Spain for the first time. So just mostly just trying to learn as much as I could as soon as I got here.
Which would probably be a surprise to a lot of people. When I was in New Zealand, the city Wellington is very, very diverse. It's a smaller city, but you can find everything. The street I lived, we had a Thai restaurant, Chinese, Irish pubs. There was food from all over the world. There were different types of clubs, different type of, it was just everything. Italian, restaurants, Italian people. There were just people from everywhere. It really was like a world city, and especially in such a small area. I was very surprised. I thought New Zealand was going to be basically like Australia, with kangaroos and boomerangs and things. So it was a surprise, but it was a good surprise.
I think the most interesting and diverse culture that I went to, or probably not the most diverse, but when I went to China, that was a big culture shock for me, just because even here, it wasn't so much of a cultural change, but going to China and being in Asia, that to me was such a different culture. I mean, it's so different than anything I'm used to growing up, and there's so many people, and it's just such a different lifestyle. I think that was probably the biggest diversity challenge I faced through my time growing up and playing basketball and traveling around.
So far, I never really had this kind of trouble in a professional way, but when I was a kid in smaller categories, I had some kind of problem because, sometimes you always meet some ignorant, and that was, sometimes it was very tough for me because I was a kid. So for example, you go to play a game against a team, there is no black people, for example. And when you start winning, they start booing you, doing some monkey signs, stuff like that. So I think as a kid is very hard because you never really meet this kind of problem, and when you meet that, you're surprised, you're wondering what you did wrong, you know. And but it's only on the when you are amateur, you know, when the smaller categories. But as a professional, so far I never met this problem because you can see all over Europe you have a lot of people from different countries. So far no, but as a kid, yes, it was very hard. Of course, yeah. Because and also when you look at Belgium, I mean we are a country, small country, but you can see that we have a lot of different nationalities over there, and from generation after generation, we have some Moroccans, some Africans, some Balkans also that lives there, and I think with time we learn how to live together. And we have to learn to live together going forward, because with what's going on right now, I think it's very hard right now because people are pointing at fingers at Muslims and stuff like that. And I think it's something that we really have to work on because we've been living like this for the last decades, and I think we have to keep going like this forward.
No, all these years I had teammates who's been from Bosnia or from Slovenia, Macedonia, and Croatia. Last year was my first neighbor was a guy from Croatia, and he was my roommate from all season. So for me it's normal, you know. The war happened, but as I see, it's like all the politicals, you know, it's not about hate between the people. So for me it's everything normal, and I think the all normal persons they treat it the same way. You know? Of course, there is some people who are maybe who see it on another way, but for me it's just, you know, some political things unfortunately that happen, but you know, you just have to move on. You cannot live in the past.
But as far as you know, we've been able to blend together really well and become more of a family than different diversities, you know, scattered in the locker room. I think that's been important to our success this year too, is how we kind of come together as a team and really blended our diversities together and you know, just shared different parts about our how we grew up and where we grew up. But I think it's been more of a blessing than anything.
Io penso che deporte non conoce ninguna religión. Deporte para mí es una cosa muy limpia que no necesita política, no necesita religión, no necesita nada que pasa mal a este mundo. Y por esto gente viene a apoyar su equipo, que se identifica con su equipo desde, como por ejemplo nosotros aquí en Fuenlabrada, que estamos nosotros jugadores. Yo por ejemplo soy muy orgulloso de estar de parte de este club, y bueno, lo que he dicho es difícil, pero cuando te adaptas una vez estás muy cómodo. Pero estas cosas de política y religión siempre pones al lado. Y bueno, yo solo respeto quién es una buena persona y nada más. Yo conozco solo buenas y malas personas. No me da igual si es musulmano, ortodoxo, católico. Eso